this is what I want to talk about today. What we got here is a Harley Benton ST62 Sunburst. It has a vintage caramel roasted maple neck, as you can see. It's been rumored that Harley Bentons might require like a finishing. A lot of people actually buy these things, and then the first thing they do is they send it to a luthier. Set up. I know it kind of sounds funny and weird. Like, why would somebody do that? Why would you just not get a Fender or a Gibson, for heaven's sake? So even a Paul Reed Smith, all the fancy guitars with big names, with deserving names, with reputations that coincide with the reason why people want them. This is no hate to Paul Reed Smith or Gibson or Epiphone, or all that's Esquire, everyone. But I've been wrapping my head around this, and I'm getting to understand that there is a new market in the marketplace, and that market in the marketplace is the market that, well, it means that you can enter into the club without having to pay your $1,500 or $2,500 entrance fee for one of the brand name girls. If you're looking for a Fender Strat, then you deserve to keep on looking until you find that Fender Strat for yourself. Now, for those people who have Fender Strats, or maybe are inquiring to look about Fender Strat, this is not one of them. But it is a representation of the look, okay? It's a representation of the pickup style and the arrangement, isn't it? It's a reproduction of this whole bridge system with a block on it, right? And springs, right? It's basically, it was designed conceptually from the start as a parts caster generated from original parts. And now everyone does the same thing, but not with original parts. When I finally got the money, and that was a whole lot of money back then, getting like I had $110, 1978, and I just moved from Queens to Long Island. Just lost my dog, and I was sad as hell. And so I took my $100 of allowance, $110 of allowance, my whole life worth of allowance, and I got on my bicycle and I started riding. And about 2 miles away, I had remembered that my mom was passing a music store every once in a while, and it was Sam Ash Music in Huntington, right off Route 110. And I remember seeing that place, and I had never been in there yet, but I kind of dreamed that, like, wow, I can only imagine the guitars on the inside, drums on the inside. Wow, it must be so cool. A lot of long hair people going in there, I assume. So I was sad as all hell because I lost my dog and just moved from one school to another. Didn't know anybody. I was frightened as hell. I just got into Frank Zappa, but I don't know how to play guitar, but I went to Sam Ash with my $110, and I bought myself a Strat copy, and it looked just like this. It was made by Carlo Robelli. I believe it was 78, or at least I bought it in 78. Oh wait, it had to have been either at least that year or older because it was already used. So I bought that and a book, Learn to Play Guitar, Kiss. I think it was Kiss Comes Alive or something like that. I had Dr. Love on it. That's the song, my favorite song from Kiss back in the day. I love Dr. Love. Man, that was the song that got me going, man. Dr. Love. That was my Kiss song. I was inspired to get this because my very first guitar that I bought with my own money, with my own $110 worth of allowance that I had, it was like 2 years before I graduated. High school, that is. I got this for a song, and you know what? You could probably write a song with this thing. I'm sure you could. I'm sure you can squeeze a lot of things out of this thing. And you know what? Talk about squeezing. I mean, it's like you can rub a baby's booty on this, and don't worry about it. It ain't gonna get a rash. This is smooth. That's how smooth this is. Yeah, bend over and let me. I could rub this on your cheeks, right? And you know what? It'll be so smooth. You won't feel a thing. Okay, maybe the pegs will hurt a little bit, but you won't feel it. Once you go past the pegs, why am I talking about that? It came with just, the standard configuration that Harley Benton sends. Like those poking bridge saddles that destroy the inner hand. Yeah, so I removed them and I put in these, I put in a whole Wilkinson thing. Even the block, it's a big old chunky block right there. So I obviously did that. You can see there's a lot of work in there. I hope you appreciate all this effort I'm putting into this so I can display my wares. Hey, if you're getting any thrill out of this and watching this disaster crash, please feel free to hit a subscribe, like, follow me. Go ahead. It costs you nothing. Let's get into this. Okay, so we have 3 pickups here, just like your standard Strat configuration. The pickups installed are this is a Harley Benton brand by the name of Roswell. Roswell pickups. The pickups are made by Roswell. Yeah, like some alien that landed out there on the desert somewhere with some mysterious, magnetic powers that's going to change the world. Yeah, that place inspired a company that pulled that name out of its hat of decisions, like, what should we call our pickup company? Roswell. Well, there you go. So, what do we got here? So, as I said, we got the Wilkinson improvement. We took out the Harley Benton gear that was here. No offense to Harley Benton. Actually, the whole guitar, as it came, was actually... I'll tell you what my overall impression was, if you stick around just a little bit longer. All right, so we have a whammy bar. And that's another thing too. So when this here, I got this guitar like about 1.5 years ago. So this is not an opening, a box opening. This is not fresh. This has been played. So when it first came, I know you're probably gonna have heard this a few times now from other channels, and right now you're hearing it from me too. When this first came, it surprised the hell out of me. First of all, it was beautiful. It has gone through a morphing change, because I did polish off, or I fine sanded the entire finish off. So actually I took off a lot of the shine. Although you see there's a lot of shine, I actually brought this back. I brought the shine back. So, but if you can see, it looks more like it's like a swirly soft polish. So it doesn't have it your standard poly over glossy thickness to it. So it actually feels different, and exactly how I thought it would feel by doing it. So this took actually a long time to do. Because I first did this all by hand, and then later I put in my orbital, and then I did it that way. Then later on I put it on my buffing wheel. So yeah, I put in a lot of work. Like my other ST62, underneath the pickguard, I completely shielded everything, the cavity, including the pickguard, and I also wired the bridge pickup tone control. The the tuning pegs have been improved by replacing them with Wilkinsons. So they have the traditional look that I really do admire. I love that. But they are, in my opinion, a big upgrade. So if you like that old style, like just standard style look, this is a decent upgrade. I like it. You can it's the Wilkinson Deluxe inline, I guess, vintage inline. So works great. I left the string trees exactly the way they are because they're serving. The nut is a plastic nut. Now, if you saw my previous video or another video of mine about my vintage white, you'll see that I was quite enthusiastic about that, and so much so that to this day, outside of what you saw, what I did to that Harley Benton, there is nothing else I've had to do because it is such a beautiful instrument the way it is set. I was blessed, so to have that, and it's a lucky shot, right? I thought. So this one, now that one came in weighing at the vintage white came in weighing at 6 pounds 6 ounces. That's less than 6.5 pounds, folks. Whereas this, still light, I would gather. This came in at 8.2 pounds. Now, at 8.2 pounds, it's still usually lighter than a Les Paul. Most Les Pauls. And some heavy tellies, right? So, but, I decided this was going to be my project about doing things. So that's how I learned how to do. I think this is the first one I learned how to wire my treble pickup for tone. So thank you. This is Becky or Becca, because there is a Rebecca in my life, and that's my daughter, and I wouldn't call this my daughter. So this can just be Becca. And the reason why I can call her Becca or Becky is because Rebecca hates that name. And this is not Rebecca. Capiche? So, Becky or Becca? Okay, so with Becky, as I said, we have the shielding, we have the wiring of the bridge pickup. I put in a tone bleed circuit so that as we lower the volume, the first thing that we don't affect is the high end, so we can lower our volume without first losing our high end. That's what will happen when you do that. So that is involved in here as well. What else? Okay, so that's pretty much it. Okay, so on first touch, didn't quite grab me like Creamy did, which is my vintage white. So Creamy, as soon as she came into my hands, that was love at first sight. With Becca, I loved that finally I got I got a tobacco sunburst to remind me of my Carla Ravelli. And she felt great. Like the neck is beautiful, and the neck is beautiful. Listen, this neck is gorgeous. This is still a guitar that's worth to me 10 times more than what I paid for. But it's not about what I paid for. It's about how it makes me feel. All right, so now, with all that being said, and the frets are polished. You know why? Because I polished them. And this neck, again, wasn't exactly perfect in terms of fret sprout and stuff like that. And it needed a little bit of leveling. If I'm not mistaken, there was like 3 frets that I had to tap them back in, and then I did file the frets, nice. So I took out all high spots, and with the Fred rockers and all of that, I did, I adjusted the truss rod, I adjusted the intonation, the string height, everything to make this as best as it can be played. And with all that being said, it paid off. All right, so enough with the talk, and let's get to hear some sounds. Okay, so this is how this sounds on the neck pickup. Hey, so if you're thinking that, maybe like this doesn't have enough oomph, like to get you over into the world of heaviness, well, so I could do that too. Alright, so it can get me there, it can get you there, and I'm sure it has gotten a lot of people in between us there. It's about this guitar right here, and I'm having a good time with it, alright? So this is a Harley Benton ST62. Dark, it's a dark wood fretboard. Oh yeah, and it comes from China. Yeah, thank you, China, thank you. Actually, thank you very much. Thank you, Tolman. This comes from Tolman. Actually, Tolman from Germany. I ordered this from Tolman Music in Germany, for heaven's sake. And they sent it, and it was manufactured in China. Probably wondering what kind of medicine I take. What's gonna make me continue this process of exploding? Well, I choose to explode voluntarily. So it's not quite spontaneous, No, it's organized chaos. It is what it is. This is me, unfiltered. I probably look ugly as sin. No? Yes. All right, can we go now? Oh God, shut this off! Get it off, please! Okay. Alright. Finally. Can we say cut?